Hey there, welcome back friends. In this video we will talk about polymorphism. Now what do we mean by polymorphism? Poly means multiple, morphism means forms. So whenever there is an element in a programming language which can take multiple forms, that is known as polymorphism. Now one of the easiest example which I can show you is the length method. For example, I give the name as steady easy and I run this. The length is 9. This particular method is capable of giving you length of a string. Now for example, we create a list. List 1 for example equals there would be for example 3 elements, right? Let me run this, and for example we pass on this list to this length function and we run this. We get the output as 3. What is this? This is definitely polymorphism, where this length method, length function can take multiple forms, right? So take a note of it. Alright, so definitely length function is nothing but a polymorphic function. Now we can again create a user defined polymorphic function. Let me show you. So in here, for example, I create a add method, and in here we take 3 parameters a, b and c, right? And let me return a plus b plus c. That's it, right? Let me run this, and now for example I print the content which is returned by this add method. Let me call in the add method and pass on 1, 2, 3. Then definitely it will return 6, which is fair enough. And in here, for example, I copy this and paste it in here. In here, if I skip a parameter, we will get a syntax error. It will say missing one required position argument C. Now friends, the reason why we are getting a error is because there is no method by the name of add where we have 2 parameters. But for example, we say c equals 3, right? Or maybe c equals 10. Let me run this. Let me run this method. We again get 6 in here. I guess there is some kind of issue. No, there is no issue. We have passed one parameter. So we are getting the output as 6. But for example, we run this particular statement at line number 6. Then what would be the outcome? We will get 13. Now we don't have a method with 2 parameters, but we are giving 2 arguments. We are sending 2 values to this method, but still we are getting a proper output. This is because of polymorphism, where this method add can take different forms. This is again an example of polymorphism, and indeed polymorphism can be easily implemented in Python. There is no such restriction, and we can like create a loop, for example, where we can display different type of objects using same methods. So how to implement what we say polymorphism under methods, or how to implement polymorphism under loop, under classes, is something which we will check in a minute. Alright, now moving forward, let us quickly check yet another example where polymorphism can be handy. So in here, for example, we create a class and the name of the class is maybe Samsung. Now these guys create phones, right? So let's move forward, and in here we would be creating a init method first of all. So it would be like define underscore underscore init underscore underscore, and we will give a pass as of now. Alright, and now moving forward, let us create a yet another method. The name of the method is phone. Here we go, and in here definitely we will receive self. We will receive the self in our init param as well. Here we go, and in this method we will do what? we will simply print a very simple message. It would be like great flagship phones with average battery life. Alright, so we have this class. Let me run this. Let me copy the entire class and paste it in here. And in here, let us create a yet another class like OnePlus. And in here, we will print a yet another message. This is a different message. So it would be like flagship killer phones with average camera performance. Great. Alright, let me run this. Alright, so now we have these two classes. Now friends, take a note of it. In these two classes, the name of the method is same. So take a note of it. So in here, first of all, let us create two objects. So it would be like Sam equals Samsung and 1 equals OnePlus, right? Oops, we need not to worry about the semicolon. Let me run this. So we have these two objects, and now for example we type in for item in, and we pass on the objects. In here we are simply giving a comma separated list, which is perfectly okay. So in here we can do this, and inside this loop what we can do it like this: item dot phone. This looks good, and indeed in here we missed the parentheses. Let me quickly add these as well. Alright, so we have these two objects, Sam and 1, and in here we are simply looping on these two objects. Now take a note of it. In here these two objects are different objects. Even then we are able to iterate over the objects, and we are able to call in the same method. Now Python doesn't apply any restriction, and it can allow us to call in this method using a same object. This item is what? This is a temporary variable based on these two objects, and indeed using the temporary variable we are calling in methods from different objects, and these objects are like phone and phone. The objects are different, objects from Samsung class and OnePlus class, but still we are able to run this. Let me show you. This is giving some kind of error. Let me rerun this. Okay. Alright, so here is the output, and we can easily make out that we are able to get a proper output. Great flagship phones with average battery life and flagship killer phones with average camera performance. Alright, so this is how again Python enables us to make use of polymorphism. Alright, now finally, before ending this video, let me quickly show you a yet another way how we can use polymorphism. So in here, for example, I create a method like phone, right? And indeed, let me update the name of the method as phone brand. That would be better. So it would be like phone underscore brand, and we receive the object of which type? Any type indeed. So it would be like brand object. Here we go. And inside this method we will do what? Inside this method we will simply type in brand object dot phone. Very simple function. Let me run this. Now this is a function because this is outside a class. This is known as a very simple function. Alright, so this is a very simple and easy differentiation factor between a function and method. A function is outside a class, a method is inside a class, and a method receives self parameters, whereas function doesn't receive the self parameter. Sometimes I goof up the name of a function and method, but apology for that. Take it with a pinch of salt. So this is a function, and in here, for example, I run this. Then we have a function. For example, I call in the phone brand method, and I pass on Sam in here. Then it will display what? This will display great flagship phone with average battery life. Let me copy and paste it in here, and for example, I pass on 1 in here. Then it will again say flagship killer phones with average camera performance. Alright, so this is again a method which is taking advantage of polymorphism. A same method can receive different type of object in here, and using the object we are calling in the method. Alright, so that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day and take care.